Hello and welcome to this new Halo Wars 2 match. I'm playing as Pavium, and we end up being in a very specific situation where it becomes a 2v1, hold the fort down type of thing, where we can try and hold out for as long as we can in order for us to see if there's an opportunity that can be done on a 2v1 on the other side. So you're going to get to see how that entails and what even got us into that situation to begin with. And our opener is going to be a relatively simple. We're going with a chopper opener. And the way this is going to work is relatively simple. We use the chopper to go ahead and scout. But one thing that I have noticed that's been happening quite recently is the fact that the grunts, not even grunts, whether it's UNSC or Covenant, they will send a grunt or a marine over, and then they will immediately drop down a mine before your chopper or any scout vehicle can get there, for that matter. And because of that, you end up losing that vehicle right away, and there goes the chopper, there goes the jackrabbit, whatever it is. You're now behind in resources, and you don't even have that additional scout. So something that I'm trying to be more mindful of, like we saw in that situation, send the grunt out right away so we can see if a mine is being placed, and then after that we can go ahead and send the chopper or jackrabbit so we can see what is going on. Can we get some damage done and get those resources? Now we're going to make an apex with this build with the chopper. The theory behind it is you get some rams in, then you're able to go ahead and repair your chopper. And so far we've killed 2 grunts, so we already have very good value. We're working on our 3rd grunt right now, but we may end up losing our grunt ourselves if we can't retreat that behind the healing spire. So he is focusing that down, and it does look like that's going to get eliminated on both sides for our grunts. So matchup time. We are going against a Voridus who is orange. Something to be mindful of, they love playing early. Get that combat salvage from your building so they get resources from doing damage to it. Yellow's going to be an Anders. With that Anders, you know, barracks plays really the only thing that's really threatening. And then red, which is the Jerome, very powerful hero early on. Very hard to deal with early on as well. But focusing back on this match over here, we're still trying to just eliminate as many grunts as possible, and look what's happening here. Bunch of grunts are here. This is a telltale sign that they're committing to making a plethora of grunts. They have their own apex as well to make engineers. So my only solution to this is, hey, let's get a raid camp up. We need suicide grunts to help reduce it. This is something that I definitely feel like I want to do more often, and I should, but we're gonna test it out here and see how that turns out. Now, we did get burnout 2. Not even sure if I used the burnout 1, honestly. That's another area of improvement. But we're going to grab the back base. And realistically, looking back at this, I kind of wish I put in a mega turret. Like, got the mega turret ability. I think there's never a bad time to get mega turrets. And so, definitely want to do and figure out better, like, leader power combinations going on. Now, we do have an excellent scout coming in on ourselves on that left-hand side. We see exactly what orange is doing. Now their army's gone, so we just got to see if we can get a better vision. And yep, there's the telltale sign that they're going to go ahead and start trying to push our base. And it is a scary army. So the plan behind this is, let's get our engineer in the back line just in case. Let's spread our suicide grunt so we have an opportunity to go after that. And then we'll use our chopper to ram the chopper, the first chopper that we see, so it can't take any suicide grunt hits. So here we go, we're going to try and execute this. Rams are coming in, we get rid of the chopper, which is great, and the suicide grunt comes in and does excellent work. Vortex lightning comes in as well. Not entirely sure if that was necessary, but we were able to at least push back orange in that regard, so that was pretty nice. Now we'll keep making a couple more suicide grunts, spread them out, and it looks like we're going to have a great defensive posture on this side. Now we need to find a way to assist with the other choppers that we have. Dark blue doesn't have a second base yet, neither does light blue. So if we could find a nice happy medium here that just allows us to go ahead and maximize our opportunities, that would be great, because yellow is still pressuring this mini base by dark blue and actually ends up eliminating it. A little bit unfortunate there because, that's some extra supplies that they can get. But I feel confident to send my 3 only choppers over because of the fact that, hey, oh, we have 4 choppers. Very nice. Because we have suicide grunts to protect our base. Now, I do think it's worth bringing some suicide grunts over the middle, but instead we're going to use those suicide grunts to just set up in the back of the expansion base in case orange tries to rotate over from the backside. So red is threatening light blue to a point. They're just trying to get the power node, and there is a combination of light blue and dark blue collabing on that side of the map. So look, we got rid of a supply pad. We do have a little bit of barracks play going on. Mines have gone down, so it's going to be very dangerous. We don't have any vision to see that. And there goes orange, right? So we're going to bring our suicide grunts over that was behind the base over to mid to see if we can deal with that. Meanwhile, there's a pretty big fight that's happening on that right hand side that we unfortunately won't be able to go ahead and see. But it does look like we got rid of a leader. So early game is going relatively well so far. Suicide grunts are going to come in, and it's going to do great amount of damage here. We're going to see if we can get one more group of suicide grunts. Now, granted, they do have a lot of engineers, but we did help reduce the amount of grunts that were there. So now I'm going Wraith Invaders instead of Rain of Fire. There's a reason behind this, but for now we still got this battle going on. It looks like Decimus has the ability to do a Y move. I think an opportunity was kind of missed there. And now that yellow is showing up too, this is not really looking good. So I'm going to try and send some reinforcements over. I don't think it's going to be a very good position. A cleansing beam is coming down, and it's kind of focusing down on the Spartan. It definitely could have been used on the engineers that we saw, because that's the biggest problem with the amount of heals that they were getting. And with Anders' Sentinel Swarm, I don't think there's any opportunities here to try to hit with a suicide grunt. So everyone's retreating, the hero's going to be taken out, and now we're going to be in this weird like 2v1 situation on the left hand side trying to protect Dark Blue's base. So we're going to see how we're going to hold that off. And the reason why I'm going Wraith Invaders is because units that are garrisoned up, and I believe it's with Wraith Invaders too, you can actually get veterancy. So we're going to see if that's the case or not. Inside of Wraith Invaders, we're going to be sure to get hunters with this too for any vehicles that are showing up, because yellow's going vehicles as well. And we're going to just slowly push this. We have an engineer in the back to provide and heal. We got the damage reduction. They're trying to focus down on the shield generator. I don't think they'll be able to do that. And now the shield gen's up. We can start rotating over to the base. Got to get some Reavers up. Get our reinforcements into that shield generator. It's just not happening yet. Burnout's being used, which is nice. And we do have a bunch of resources. But see, these engineers are a problem. If they were cleansing beamed earlier, it would have been better for us. And this goo is exceptionally annoying from Voridus. So, one thing that I have just noticed, 3 Wraith Invaders, I think that's a little bit overkill. At this point, you can get some support units, like some vehicles and some shrouds and engineers to go ahead and help with this army a little bit more. But we got 2 Reavers from them, from Decimus, and it's still crazy to me that the Spartan's able to go ahead and hijack that right there. But we're at least working on just trying to push them back with the units that we have. And look, we got an upgrade for our infantry, came in at the perfect time. And yellow's trying to retreat their Spartan, but they won't be able to with what we have here. Voridus is taking a little bit of damage on the base, so he can get some of the resources, but boom, Spartan has been eliminated. Yellow is going to have to fall back. And all in all, I think with what we have, look, hunters are doing great. And this is what I mean. I think there was just too many Wraith Invaders made early on that it got just a little bit sloppy in regards to control. They're a little bit chonk of a unit. But the next leader power that I want to go over here, Ultra Mines. Now, I randomly placed those there. Honestly, I don't think it was worth it. The reason why I placed it there was because my teammate was saying they were probably going to need some help. So, I'm not entirely sure how those mines are going to play out, but the reason why I went with Ultra Mines is simply because they're low-key good. Alright, they have the ability to, once they blow up, the units that get affected by it, they take more damage temporarily, right? So you can really wipe out armies with Ultramine if you have your army available and those mines are able to connect. So we made 2 locusts in order for us to go ahead and try and see if we can, you know, take out this base over here by orange. And yellow's still being a little bit annoying with what we got over here with the sentinel beam, but I mean sentinel swarm, but we're holding pretty nice. And that's what I mean. I have 3 of these Wraith Invaders and they're not even being used, right? Now, granted, the goo is affecting us. We have 4 now. This is where engineers and shrouds would be magnificent to have to help support this. Get some more reavers, get some marauders to tank the front line. So I'm scheming, right? I'm scheming different ways because we're knocking out units with what we got here. But red is knocking on light blue's base on the opposite side of the map. And I ain't have no leader abilities for that. So we're on the clock. We're going to try and just, you know, take out this base and then see what we can do on the main base. Locust got to get closer to go ahead and lock in on this base, and there we go, we're able to do that. But yeah, engineers, you need engineers against Voridus. It's very surprising that I did not choose to go ahead and go that route, but we are slowly but surely doing work here. We made another Wraith Invader just because one blew up, and I definitely need to go ahead and focus more on using the hot control groups for buildings instead of going back between the armies. And I'm going to emphasize it again, where are the engineers? Man, that's frustrating. So light blue is doing its best to try to hold off red, but based off the army comp, light blue is going to be severely at a disadvantage. We are able to go ahead and take out orange's base. That's great. That's really cool. And I'm going to try and pressure the main base now. Now, looking at this, I think maybe the better move was to go ahead and rotate over to yellow. Mainly because I don't think there's anything that orange can do that can hurt me now, especially when you see how garrisoned this base is. So yeah, let's just retreat. We should rotate over. We have great fallback mines if we want to go ahead and pressure that side of the map. And we're still making too many Wraith Invaders. Oh my gosh, if I have to say anything about this video, I might as well just call it too many Wraith Invaders. But we're doing our best here. So yeah, we lost a lot of units. We need to start falling back. This is going to be an empty push. I think we also made too many locusts. 3 is a little bit too much. But I'm going to try and pressure this base again. We do have a turret we can go ahead and work on, but the back turret is still going to be way too problematic. So we're able to get rid of the turret, which is nice, but there's still a little bit too much there. We don't have the beef, right? Where's the marauders, right? And it doesn't matter anyways. Voridus popped his cataclysm, so we're going to have to retreat entirely. Meanwhile, this Jerome is doing work on their side of on our side of the map. They're trying to repair it as best as possible, and I don't even get an opportunity to call in my Pavium here, the ultimate. And it's a little bit unfortunate because light blue lost both of his bases, so light blue is pretty much out for the count, which means now we're in a 3v2 situation here while light blue tries to recover. And this is where the story begins. And look, ultra mines. Oh my gosh, they're coming in clutch. So you see the little red down that showed up on the tank, right? It means they can take more damage. So I honestly feel like there is an opportunity here to use ultra mines a little bit more better than what I did there. I used 2 sets of ultra mines. The results really weren't what I wanted it to be, but seeing yellow also convert to tanks when I had hunters, I really could have pushed yellow. So now things are going to get a little bit tough because dark blue's base is going to be under fire by yellow, and you know orange will eventually start sending reinforcements while there's trying to be a push on the right hand side by dark blue, a counter push mind you. And this is where our 2v1 journey is going to start to begin, and see how this is going to play out. We're going to need to try and hold this down as best as we can. We have a Pavium for heals, but Sentinels and Sentinel Siege is a realistic problem that I really do not want to deal with. But all we can do is just get our Pavium in the back. He just keeps trying to shoot at these Sentinels for no reason, and see if we can go ahead and attack the siege. That's our first objective. But here comes orange with some air now and grunts and some engineers, so This could be, ooh, great cleansing beam. Okay, that's a good cleansing beam. Got rid of a lot of the engineers. He wasn't paying attention. So that works out really nicely. And now we can't really push that yet. They have tanks and nightingales there, and we don't have anything to like tank, right? That's where the shrouds would have been great with some damage reduction engineers. But we have 2 hunters here trying to push this. I don't think that's a smart idea. And so far, we're lucky that there's no Sentinel Siege. And I think they just got the leader point for it. So they do. So now we're kind of in an even worse spot. Our Locust is trying to do some work behind the base, but it's not looking good, everyone. It's not looking good, but there's still some sort of push happening on the right-hand side with Dark Blue dealing with the Jerome. We're going to make more Reavers. We need the infantry upgrades. Pavium is trying to heal the base. I think sending in at least 1 engineer for damage reduction on that side would help. But, hey, their siege is available and open for season. Oh, it doesn't look like they had Kodiak siege for Sentinels anyways. So, yeah, we cleared out the siege, but at what cost? All of Yellow's army is here. I have 1 single Locust that's able to do damage. And so this Pavium is just a goner. It's a goner. And now they have free reign to come and start attacking my base. So Red is able to hold back Light Blue and Dark Blue. So now I have to do the job of trying to hold off, become the defensive orc that Pavium can be. And dang, look at that. The hero's gone. Hey, some of my Ultramines actually came and played there. That's pretty cool. But Light Blue doesn't have anything. Dark Blue doesn't have anything. Dark Blue's on 1 base. Light Blue practically is on 1 base. And so now I'm gonna have to try and hold this. So that's a lot of tanks we're gonna have to deal with canister shell. So first, let's pop a Y move with an engineer, please, while we have it. Let's get the damage reduction. Okay, let's just continue to use. Okay, Vortex is coming down. Ultramines is coming down. They're not being dealt with. And look at this. They are popping everything, and everything is taking more damage, and we just wiped everything that Yellow had from the Ultramines. So, huge lag spike. We can now go ahead and just get rid of Kodiaks that are there. We did lose a lot of our army, mind you. We did. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But we're at least starting to do some work here. Like, I don't even have full salvage on here as a leader ability. I definitely should have at some point, but I didn't. And because of that, we're just trying to hold to the best we can. But this Spartan's causing us problems. These machines are causing us problems. A very bad global rally. Look, I have a global rally set up at Orange's main base that I never put away, and I have not noticed it yet. So, Spartan's a problem. We're trying to hold off these 2 armies that are constantly streamlining reinforcements, and a Cataclysm was just popped. Fortunately, there's not much army in the Cataclysm, but I continue to see my army move away. So I finally changed the global rally to the left-hand side. But realistically, it's tough. Look, we reset them at least, alright? My morale is starting to get a little bit lower here. But you know what? Got a fresh breath of air. I can go ahead and see, like, okay, we stabilized. We just got to continue to hold. And then Ender's ult comes in. It has shields and everything, and though I do have myself 2 level 1 Reavers, which, you know, that's actually pretty clutch. This is going to be a little bit problematic. And look at this. I used the Y move to go down, and they didn't because there's the hills or whatever that's in the way. So we lost our 2 level 1 Reavers. That was the only thing that was trying to keep us in check against the air. We have Ultramines, and this is where Ultramines kind of like, okay, what am I supposed to do now? So, you know, maybe Rain of Fire with Y move, or just get full salvage and just not worry about Ultramines right now. I don't know. Still figuring that out. What I do know is that my base here is getting wrecked by everything. We got so much Sentinels coming in from Anders. Our Pavium's trying to come into place. A Decimus drop comes in, which is going to be pretty helpful. And we're just trying to hold with what we got. We just salvaged. We got rid of the Uber unit at least, so that's a plus. And we are technically holding without full salvage, mind you. And you know, it got me thinking. Think about it. If I went just turrets and a cloaking gen, no shield gen, and the reason why I say that is because if you have full salvage and your base is like constantly healing, very bad burnout by the way, then, you know, maybe you can make something out of it. So, alright, Dark Blue got themselves a Scarab on their side. Let's see if we can make some moves over there while I continue to hold off this this firefight mode that I'm now playing. We have ourselves some units that are trying to get into the Wraith Invaders. We're trying to re-establish that for ourselves. But man, this is just so much fight that they have right now that they keep sending towards. But we're holding the best we can, and once we get this next leader point, we can go ahead and use full salvage. Now, Pavium here, he's hurting, and notice we have not even gotten Tech 3. We're in 21 minutes in because the amount of hunters and the amount of elite rangers, we have lost a lot. And you can tell from my voice, I'm starting to get demoralized just by watching this. But there's still so much you can take from this. We're still holding on to this 2v1 situation, and Dark Blue's finally pushing with this Scarab on the right hand side. My light blue continues to try to recover from the plethora of base losses that they got. So we got more Reavers coming in, our turrets are doing work, Pavium's healing our base, we have engineers as well with damage reduction, but the bad rally that I put on the left hand side now, I now moved it to the right hand side. See, I already knew it, I just instinctively saw it, I'm like, that's a bad rally. We set it up there, we have our engineers for healing now, and we finally called in our ult for Pavium. So we're gonna be able to push this back just a little bit, but now if they get rid of they get ready for Cataclysm. I gotta separate my units, so we're holding, but an allied ultimate unit was lost. That's not good. That was it. That was the final piece of resistance of trying to make something out of nothing here. So what's next? Well, all we can do is just continue to hold here against the enemy and hide behind our base. And right here, this is where I had the idea of, right, you can just get a cloaking gen. Why waste 600 supply, 300 power for a shield gen for Pavium when your base can self-heal, right? There's no reason to convert those resources for that. So there's a lot of cool things that I can definitely take from looking back at this video. Great cleansing beam, and that base is gone. The first thing is global rallies. Need to be better at that. Secondly, Wraith Invaders. Don't need to keep pumping out Wraith Invaders, alright? 2, with just like 3 or 4 hunters with some elite rangers, just based off what you're seeing. And then have vehicle support, have air support. The whole point is to keep those Wraith Invaders to do its job for getting rid of the specific vehicles it needs to. And then we'll be in a better spot. So look, Cataclysm was popped there and all he had was that drop. So, and all units had. That's a little bit unfortunate, but we didn't take that much damage. Now, Voridus marching on to Dark Blue. The writing is going to be on the wall here. So, I don't know how much is left for this game. I just want to say thank you for watching. This was quite the hold. And we got one more hold in us that we're going to go ahead and attempt to do right now. Yellow is showing up at our base. We have a bunch of engineers ready to repair everything. And honestly, this just goes to show Pavium is really, really hard to eliminate. Even with Voridus being the problem that it is with its goo, it's just really strong. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But besides those notes that I brought out, I'm going to definitely keep giving Pavium a try. I think Pavium's starting to speak to me. Definitely I need to figure out what to do for the tier 3 points and stuff like that. Well, technically tier 4, but all in all, it was a cool match. Let's see, the fact that I was able to hold off that 2v1 for good like 15 minutes. Very nice to see. So Yellow's going to go ahead and go with this push. Red's going to go ahead and finish the job on the right hand side, and this game's coming to a close. So good job to the other team. They beat us fair and square. And until next time, or the next Halo Wars 2 video. Hey, I'm still here. I think this part is pretty cool, right? I sent some of my army on the right-hand side, and then I have my actual hunters coming in from the bottom side. So I kind of like flank them right here. And because of that, they're going to end up losing everything that's here. I think that's pretty cool. But once red shows up, it's done. Look, the mines. That's what I am talking about. I love ultra mines. Okay, I'm a sucker for it. Can't get that right away though. Okay, I'm out for real now.